Go ahead, talk about it. How you put gas in the car.
Okay, so when you pull up to the gas station, you want to know what side your pump is on. Usually that's going to show on your gauge. So once you pull up, you know what side your gas cap is on. You're just going to open the gas cap right here, twist it open. You come up to the gas fuel. Now, Mr. Miles was very nice to buy me some gas, so I'm just going to remove it, and then my car takes regular, so you just click regular. If you want to know what fuel your car takes, it's in the manual. Go ahead, and then just like that. And then this thing right here, you can flick that down. You don't even got to hold it. So always turn your car off before you pump your gas. If your car is on, you can get some friction, and the friction will cause a fire with fuel. So you always want to make sure you turn your car off before you pump your gas.
Also, another tip, you always want to look around your surroundings. People will walk up on you, beg for money, ask to clean your car. You got to be a defensive driver and be aware. And it does take a job. You got to have a job. Why do you do that? Can you explain that?
I do not want fuel all over the side of my car. I don't want it on the ground. I don't want it anywhere that could possibly cause a fire. So I always want to make sure I shake out all that gas before I bring it over here.
We're good. And then talk about how do you close the cap. We don't need a receipt? Yeah, go ahead. Yep, we don't need one. And talk about what you're doing now.
Okay, so I'm kind of OCD. So when I close my cap, I always want the arrow to be like as straight as possible. So I'll take it like this, and I'll start it at the bottom. When I close my cap, just like that, you just want to twist until you hear it. You could twist it just one time until you hear it lock once. I usually like to twist it a lot because I'm OCD like that. And then close my gas cap.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and get in the vehicle now. We're gonna go ahead and put on our seatbelts. And then what we're gonna do is have a drive through the neighborhood. So go ahead, drive through a neighborhood around from where we live and talk about what are some things you're doing to set yourself up in the car right now.
My phone is already connected to the Bluetooth, so I turned on my little speaker. You know, my seat's already adjusted to the way I like it, so it's good. Once I hop in the car, I'm ready to go. I pump the gas. I'm looking in my mirror right now to make sure my gas cap is closed. Just double checking, making sure everything's good to go. My mirrors are good. I'm ready. Usually when I'm making sharper turns, I do hand over hand. Sometimes if I'm doing, you know, like if I'm just gonna turn on the grass chute right here, I'm gonna do hand over hand because it's a 90-degree turn. But a lot of the times when I'm turning, I'll just kind of, it's kind of like, my dad explained it to me this way when I started driving. He took me to a Menards parking lot. He's like, it's kind of like driving a go-kart, isn't it? Kinda, but there's a lot more responsibilities. Right? You just have to be careful. You shouldn't be that stressed out about it. It's not a very stressful thing. It's normal.
Talk about your slow down speed in your turn right now. So
my slow down speed, I always go
make a left here.
Okay. My slow down speed, I don't want to jerk the car, right? So I kind of pump the brakes a little bit. I don't want to jerk the car. I don't want your head to go boom, you know. I don't want to give you no whiplash or nothing.
Nice.
So I'll slow down at a reasonable speed, and when I'm turning, I don't come to a complete stop.
Talk about what you're doing in the parking maneuver. How are you getting the car in the lines? And go ahead, do some backing and turning, and let's kind of talk about that. So when you're parking, how do you make a good parking job?
Well, most newer cars have a backup camera, so you always take advantage of that. When I'm parking, I know the dimensions of my car. A lot of people in the passenger seat get kind of scared sometimes because my car is more of a rectangular shape. So when I'm pulling into a parking lot next to somebody, it might look like their side's gonna hit, but it never does. I got to take a little bit of I usually take a little bit of a wider turn if I can into a parking spot, because that allows you to line up into the lines a bit more.
Okay, can you hit some stall parking maneuvers, please, for us? Just back us up. Talk about what you look at when you back up.
Yeah. So when I'm looking at when I back up, I'm looking at I'm looking at my backup camera, right? I'm looking at these green lines, these yellow lines, and these red lines, right? So these green lines and yellow lines and red lines are guiding me perfectly into this parking spot, and I know exactly when to stop.
What is that noise? Tell me about that noise.
That noise is my bumper telling me, hey, you're getting close to the curb. So I know, hey, I got a few more inches. Now I'm at the red lines. So once I hit these red lines, I know that's time to park.
Okay, that is awesome. Can you talk about pulling out, you looking left and right? We're in a parking lot. We're by a busy parking lot. Can you talk about some of the dangers? Maybe this truck going by, maybe people who can't see you.
Right. So when I'm in a busy parking lot and I'm pulling out from where I backed in, I'm always just creeping forward. I'm not pressing the gas too hard. I'm not in a rush. I'm looking around. I'm viewing my surroundings, staying vigilant. And then, you know, when I'm ready to come out, I just creep forward.
Why do you creep forward?
I creep forward because I know if I'm going literally 1 mile per hour and I get in an accident, you know, it's not going to be bad. And plus, if I hit the gas and I go forward and somebody's in my blind spot, I get T-boned. And you don't want that. So you creep forward nice and easy, you look around, you view your surroundings, and then that's when I usually hit the gas and I'm okay.
Can you pull into one of those spots and tell us what you do? You're pulling in straight to a stall parking spot. Talk about the steering and what are you looking at with the lines?
Right. So if I'm adjusting to get into a parking spot, right? If I over adjust left, I just crank the wheel a little right. You could usually tell, you know, like I could look out my side window and I could see that's the next parking spot over. I know darn well I'm in this one, right? So that's it. You just park it between the yellow lines. As long as you're not too far in one space or too far in the other, you know, then other people can park next to you.